I'm sure what I'm going to say is going to hit a note with all of you really in local authorities. We've all got lots of problems. Yeah, waiting for the Act to come in. When's it coming? About to, hurry up, make our lives a lot easier. It would do for us. Anyway, right. In the meantime, we are pushing forward. We're looking at all planning applications, which is a struggle. Looking at all the major ones and looking at minor ones, especially in the towns like Oxford, where they affect all the drainage, all the flooding in the roads. We tend to lead. I like to lead by example. So all the county planning applications will have SuDS in. And there are problems. You've an extension to a school, and they say, "Well, we can't fit anything in." Well, you can, but you can always get something in. But you've got to be realistic. Even if it's only something small, anything's better than nothing, I think. At present, our legal team is going bananas, especially at me. I'm keen to look at whole development as a whole, look at the SuDS on development, and water moves round the development. They don't want to accept liabilities. So non-highway water going into highways and back into non-highway. So anything that's got non-highway water in, they don't want to adopt. So if a swale's going through a development and it's got non-highway water into it, they don't want to adopt it. Getting around it slightly by 106 agreements. We're there trying to set up management companies with the developer, saying, we have a schedule of rates and everything else, and we put in, we have the option to adopt afterwards if the SAB comes up. And some of them are fine with that, but we take the commuter sum with it, because obviously with the Act comes, it's not retrospective. I say, with development, you've got to treat the whole site, I think. Most of the sites these days are rubbish, and there are problems all across the site, so you've got to look at the whole site when draining it. So the SuDS go to and from, etc. Okay, which we just talked about. At present, being a county council, the district councils, the plan applications coming to them. Working with them closely, we've got agreement there will be SuDS on all developments. We check and improve the design of the SuDS at no cost to the developer at the moment. As soon as it comes in, the better we can start charging. So it's probably the same as you. The boss comes, what savings can you make? It's not cuts now, it's savings. You think, well, with the SAB, we'll have these savings, about a quarter of my team's time is a saving. When the SAB comes in, and that's the same you can make. But of course, when it didn't come in this year, they moaned a bit. The construction's checked, a washing brief under Section 38, which really isn't good enough at the moment. Once the SAB comes in, they'll be paid to check it properly, which is be much better. We adopt some of our SuDS required standards using, we have serious standards, and we have our own small set of standards, based on the Syria, plus our own experience within Oxfordshire. So I've got about 20 pages, which we do give to the developers. And we insist on a management company to maintain non-highway SuDS. And if the highways go, so like a big pond end of development would be maintained by the management company, we would then have an easement for discharge into it. Causes problems. Some complain, some don't. We have no choice, I'm afraid. Large developments, to ease the problems, we're saying, well, okay, you can put money into the pot of money for the management company over several years. So if 10% of the SuDS is done the first year, they can put 10% of the final cost in, etc., going through, which makes life a bit easier, which is also reasonable. So at present, we look at all major planning under single response, which is what the county do. And at the moment, we have 2 weeks to reply. We're a section under the development control section, so we have 2 weeks to reply to the SuDS on that. Obviously, when we become the SAB, they also use APAS system, which is by Swift. So part of our planning use that, and they're going to do a SuDS module. And they're looking to do that now. I'm sure this is done under several different companies are all doing the same sort of thing. I think we're interested, Worcestershire are interested in APAS. And so they're going to have a system, we're going to go have a meeting and sit down what we want. That's, having a SuDS module under that planning will then sort out all the writing, all the letters, standard letters out to consultees and timing, everything else, which is big time saving, you know, for us. Right, design and maintenance of SuDS. So we have our own SuDS standards. I think I've passed them around a few times, but anybody does want them, welcome to have a copy. I can send you a copy by email or whatever on that. It's just good practice. I mean, you're the same in your areas. I mean, in our area, we have chalk, we have ironstone, we have clay, we have brash, and you know where the SuDS work better in those areas, and you can just say, well, okay, if you put a soaker in that area, it's going to last 10 years, and so therefore it's 3 times commuter sum for working out and things, you know. If it's in brash, the water's not there long enough to measure, so there's not a problem. We should use the developers if we get consistency across the county. We also put in things like the type of soakage test we like. I mean, I like a soakage test I can see properly. So it's 2 metre square hole, 2 metres deep. Size of a soakaway, if you're doing that. You know, and you put a bottom 1 metre of water in. And that you get, to me, you get a proper figure. You know what it's like. Types of SuDS used at the present. We also like to encourage new ideas. Okay, I'm quite open to new ideas, and I'm quite easy to talk through, have a go at, amend, etc. You work on. I'm probably going quite quick, aren't I, really? What I sort of the last section, I sort of just go some pictures here, really, because it's always easier to talk through. Different types of swales we've put in. The top left one, that's a private estate road, or for industrial estate. So the actual highway itself will be highway. All the grass area, the verge, will be owned by is owned by the industrial estate. So we're discharging off the highway, across into the verge, for nothing, which is good. So he maintains all the verges and everything else, fine. So all we do is the road. And he's planted trees down, so we've got avenue of trees going down. Looks nice. Trees are watered. Excellent. Top right is just a small, we have ponding on a junction. So even just dropping the curbs, then lowering the grass. You know, that is cheaper to do than putting a gully in. You know, because I'm sure you're all the same as our authority. Look, they're always cuts, they're looking to save money. You know, and gullies, they're cutting the amount of maintenance on gullies, so the more we can reduce gullies, the better. You know, so that's just a long-term saving, that's what I think. Bottom left is like an internal road we put over the edge drains to swales. Again, nice and cheap. When that first design came in, the developer wanted to put curbs and drainage system down, run down to a lake at the bottom, wanted us to adopt the lake and store back and discharge to Madley Brook in Whitney. We said, no, let's have SuDS, swales. It hasn't flooded. You don't get a massive runoff. It just soaks in. The road's not breaking up, which is the big thing for maintenance engineers. Oh, the road will go. Putting water on the edge of the road, oh, that's not good for it. But it doesn't, it's fine. And having dishes coming through, just having, you know, putting local stone in so it aerates as it comes through. I think it's just good practice. We put check dams in swales. These, we use local stone, and a bit soft, but they still work. You know, on the right-hand one is the roads on the left, cyclewell on the right, and the swale in the middle. And it works. There is no damage to the road surface because of the swales. It generally soaks through and moves on down. You know, it's cheap to maintain. You mow it. You haven't got a... Well, these days, probably your contractor's the same as ours. If you want to clean gullies, we have lane closure. Well, all the extra cost comes in, all the signing, the lane closure, additional men. This is just mowed down the edge. You haven't got a barrier off part of the road to do it. Much cheaper. This is a slightly newer one, check dams again. But I always find when I look at all the master planning and stuff, and so you have all ideas of swales all around the ring roads and crossings, etc., and they've done the swale too deep. Swales do not need to be deep because you've got the width, there's that volume there, and they put crossings in for the pedestrians. Well, if it was shallower, you just harden it with the shape of the swale. You know, twin pipes, blockages, extra maintenance, the fencing, everything else. I mean, normally if it's pouring rain and there's a couple of inches of water in the swale, you can paddle through that, not a problem. Well, you're not going to have people paddling through it. You know, so why have all these extra costings going in, which is more maintenance, really. Again, top left, coming into this Banbury area, and it's like a hill coming down. So we had, you know, steps coming down to aerate the water. Also, it looks good, and that's coming to a large open area for ponding to aerate the water, and it just improves the environment, I think. Top right, again, putting drop curves in and grips going across to the hedge line. Just drop it and take the water off the road. Bottom left is a small housing estate, over the edge drainage into a swale with an overflow soakaway at the bottom. The parish council mowed the swale. They had the money from the developer, quite cheap. Different types of ponds have gone in. We often find you don't need to plant ponds, they just grow. All the vegetation you can turn around, it's there, you know, and you're pulling sort of a third of it out every so often, you know, you don't need. But on these times, I mean, they look fine, looks good in the area, they work. The bottom left-hand one was on a road junction. Developer didn't know how to drain the road because the soakage test was terrible. So we had to put a pond in, overflows to dish on the left, overflows to the right, to the highway drain into the back of a gully. And okay, we've had plastic ducts in the pond, we've had vehicles drive through it when it's dry, but now it's water area with lots more weeds in. Bottom right is in that industrial estate at the top. They've at the end of the road going in, we put a roundabout, which we put interceptors on roundabouts. So that's discharged into a pond. That's in a sort of a sandy area. And the biggest movement is the rabbits burrowing through the pies of the pond, which helps dissipate the water anyway. But again, no problem. They just mow it. I tend to prefer detention ponds because I'm looking on cost. So if you've got a large pond which fills up when it rains hard, then goes down again, you're going to mow it. With the small biodiversity area in the middle, perhaps. So that keeps the ecologists happy. You know, you've got the plants and you've got the wildlife and etc. But for me, I mean, having that type of pond, you just mow the sides. All right, it's safer too, because I think sometimes some developers want a metre deep pond next to the road. Well, hang on, to me that's health and safety. You've got to think of the residents going off the edge and stuff. So prefer that type. Also, mowing it from so long as you've got a nice easy way into it, they can plant trees and bushes all around the tops, which keeps them happy. Keeps all the landscape people happy as well. Don't let swales too deep, the shallower, the easier to maintain. Because most of the mowing machines, if you've got a nice shallow swale, they'll just run through and mow it fine. If they're too deep, they're struggling to side. But I still see, well, if you do, developers things, we're putting a swale in, it's 750 deep. You know, and about 3 metres wide at the top. Well, that's too deep. You know, you still see that, I do. Have compost areas. That's essential in all developments. You know, it cuts down maintenance costs because you're taking reeds out of ponds, but they are waste. You know, they'll say it's polluted waste because there's perhaps hydrocarbons gone in, etc. So having a localised compost heap within the development cuts costs down. Porous pavements, we've got, I don't know, 40, 50 now in the county, and they work fine. You know, different types. Bottom right one, the strip in the middle is the service strip across the middle. So you make sure the service is going in set areas. So it's porous on either side and non-porous in the middle, and you link the areas with pipes going through, and they work. and they look good. We've only had one porous pavement fail in one area, and when we dug it up, the developer put 300 mil of sharp sand under the blocks instead of 50, and that's why it sank. Yeah, so washing them, making sure they do it properly is essential. And to be honest, at the moment, the washing brief, which our Section 38 people have, is not good enough. Because often these developers, they shoot through, get them in quickly, or we got to get the show home out, and so you want to put road in front of it, and it causes problems. I think block paving like that looks good on developments. A lot better in black. Block paving on the left, build outs around the trees, so you're watering the trees. Yeah, porous pavement there, fine. But you don't have to have porous. Tarmac's fine, over the edge, a central green strip, filter drain through, plant the trees in. It waters them. And they look good. You know, if some say, well, you know, porous pavement's not too expensive, well, you can do that. You know, you're removing curves, moving gullies, pipe work, chambers. It's savings, lots of savings for them and for us in long-term maintenance. So make sure the pavements are not laid in a rush, because the blocks will move. Try not to let contractors cut too many blocks, because that's again the biggest problem. I've pitched that in a minute. If laid properly, it works fine. And if doing that, suction sweeping twice a year, weed killing every 2 years. It's funny, the site we have where it sank is also the worst site for weed killing. The weeds come, they're this big, every year. And of course the weed killers we have, we can use, are not very good as they used to be. And you can't eradicate them at all. Just at one site. It was supervised by our district council at the time. They looked after Section 38 in that area. Not anymore. Just some bad practice pictures. You might have seen them before. Putting round covers in square block paving doesn't work. Cut the blocks and you see the gaps that happen. You know, and all this gives you more maintenance liabilities. You know, it costs us more in the long run. So, you know, that's got to be stopped, you know, by your inspectors. Putting chambers in, not with the pattern. You know, if they're with the pattern, you know, it's less cutting blocks, less maintenance. You see, I mean, that chamber on the right could have been turned to match the pattern. You know, it's annoying. And also some of them, like the bottom left, they tend to sink if it goes in too quickly too. You know, often the developer will say, well, we must get this porous pavement road in because we want to sell the houses and do the show houses. And it's just, oh, we'll put it right afterwards. The famous last words you get. It never goes back the same. You know, if it doesn't go down right the first time, it's never good in the end. Some of the sites I like, top left one, I put that in 20 years ago. Small development, the developer forgot to put the SoCo in on the left-hand side of the road. So rather than dig the road up, just lower the curb and put it into the grass area. No problems, it works. You know, it really does, nice and simple and cheap. Top right is Bicester development. They wanted ponds in front of the development to help sell the properties. And they look good. The other two to the same development, and the bridge, they put bridges in just to enhance the development. You know, they didn't really need them because there were false ponds, etc., and just pipes going through, but they look good. You know, but it works. That's it.